Hey everybody, it's Bronze, and I've got a little bit of a theory video for you today. I'm going to keep it nice and short, but we are going to be talking about 3 different elite specs today, and how they all kind of a little bit tie in together, and why that's a good thing. So, buckle in. End of Dragons. We have 9 new elite specs coming, and we're going to be talking about 3 of them today. The Virtuoso, which we already had details about released, and we already know quite a bit about. The new Ranger elite spec, which we have a teaser for, but that's it. We don't know anything else about it. And the Engineer, which we know absolutely nothing about. We don't even have a teaser. There's a little bit of leaked information, which we might get into later, but we're not going to do it right now, so don't worry. My theory basically goes that when they were designing these 3 elite specs, somebody made the decision that they're going to take some of the base class mechanics from the Mesmer, Ranger, and Engineer and kind of swap them around between the 3 classes. The reason I think they want to do that is to incentivize players to make a new character with a new class that they're not familiar with, to experience the game in a new way, which is a good thing. And the way they're going to incentivize that is to take some of the main class mechanics from the class they love and kind of shuffle them over to a different class. Now, how specifically do I think they're doing that? Well, we already know quite a bit about the Virtuoso, the Mesmer elite spec. The main thing with that is that they don't have clones. They took away their clones and replaced them with psionic blades, which basically are just a ranged shatter mechanic that doesn't use clones, they just use the blades. And a lot of Mesmer mains were somewhat upset about that, because they really like their clones. The clones are a major part of the Mesmer class, and the Virtuoso not having them kind of makes the Mesmer mains think, maybe I don't want to play Virtuoso. Now, here's why that's a good thing. The new Ranger elite spec, if we look at this teaser right here, the only thing in this teaser that we know is that it's a Sylvari wielding a hammer. There's not a whole lot of information here, but I'm not focused on what's here. I'm focused on what's not here. And what is very clearly not in this teaser is any sort of pet. The Ranger has always had a pet. Even the Druid, even the Soul Beast. The Soul Beast kind of merges with their pet, so they don't always have a pet, but they always have pet-related mechanics. And there's no pet in this teaser, so I'm thinking they might take the pet away from the Ranger and replace it with something like a clone mechanic. It could work something like totems from a shaman class that some of you may be familiar with from other games. Something like that, where it just spawn, like, instead of having the F abilities related to the pet, instead you just spawn totems on the battlefield, and they interact with your class the same way that a pet would, but instead they're just totems, or something like that. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Maybe they get spirit animals or something that interact with their class the same way a pet would instead of a pet. But either way, it looks like they might be taking the pet away from the Ranger. And if they do that, I think they might replace it with something like clones, which would make a bunch of Mesmer mains want to play Ranger, which is a good thing. I'm arguing, at least, that that's a good thing. We want people to experience the game in a new way and still have fun with the mechanics that they enjoy. So, where does Engineer fit into all of this? Well, I think the Engineer might be getting a Golem pet. I have been thinking this for a while, and I've been paying close attention. We don't know anything for sure. We don't even have teaser artwork for the Engineer elite spec yet. But if they get a Golem, then all of the Ranger players who just love their pet and don't necessarily want to play Ranger if it doesn't have a pet, well, they can make an Engineer, get this new elite spec, get a Golem pet, and they still get their pet while experiencing a new class in a new way and having fun with it. Now, what about the Engineer players? Well, I would argue that the Virtuoso's new class mechanic abilities, the psionic blades, they kind of act like an Engineer's tool belt. They don't change along with your slot skills like an Engineer's tool belt would, but they function very much the same, where you just hit them and they do something and you're done. That's it. And I'm sure the engineer players are very much smart enough to figure out how to use their Mesmer weapon skills to stock blades to unlock their new tool belt style psionic blade abilities. So this kind of thing, if they're moving base class mechanics around to different classes, it will significantly increase the diversity of the player base in what they're familiar with, what they can do, what they can play. And you know what? That's a good thing. I love that. If they're doing that, I am going to very much enjoy teaching and watching people learn new classes and get better at the game as a whole. And I think that's great. And I think they are going to be doing that. And I think that is great. Now, here's a little bit of leaked information. If you don't want leaks, just stop watching now. Okay? Because there is slight, maybe a little bit confirmation that Engineer is getting some sort of pet. We don't know what it is. We don't know anything about it. Golem would make the most sense, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It might be some new Jade construct. But there is slight, somewhat confirmation. Last beta event, when we had the Catalyst and the Revenant and the Warrior that I don't remember the name of. During the last beta event, if you played on an Engineer and you right-clicked on your F5 ability, it gave you an option to change the name of your pet. And yes, that is a bug. And yes, that is, even if it is a bug related to Engineer, it is a leak, so it's not confirmed. It may have been a completely unrelated bug. But I take that as a very good sign that they are getting some sort of pet to replace the Ranger's lost pet, possibly, because, you know, maybe the developers were working on the Engineer, and when they were making the beta game that we were playing, the build, you know, the update that we were playing on with all of the beta stuff, they just forgot to remove that one little thing that lets you change the name of your pet on an Engineer, and then it was included in the game, and we found it. So that's the leaked information that somewhat slightly confirms this theory. So that's all I've got. A little bit of leaked information at the end there, but even without the leaked information, it looks, I mean, there's no pet in this teaser. Come on. It's not there. But yeah, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you like this theory video. I hope you discuss it down in the comments, and I will see you in the next episode of something. I've got a lot of series running right now. Anyways, have a great day, guys.